it's Sir Randy Duck and welcome back for another video. And in today's video we are featuring 3 replays in the level 75 reward season pass tank in the upcoming season, which is released tomorrow. So what is this tank? It's a tier 8 Chinese medium tank which actually has pref matchmaking. So that means at worst case scenario you will only see tier 9 matchmaking or tier 8 matchmaking. So you will never see tier 10s when you play this tank, which is really nice. And it makes it quite enjoyable because you avoid playing those tanks like the dreaded Turan, the Vigilante, the Avery, etc. And makes it quite refreshing to play at tier 8. Now if you want to see the crew and equipment setup I run in this tank, you will see it at the bottom of the screen. And what is this tank? It's basically, it's got 250 alpha, with 900 shell velocity in the standard AP rounds with 181 penetration. You then got 241 penetration not on your premium APCR rounds with 1125 shell velocity, and then you've got 7 degrees of gun depression with reasonable mobility and pretty good armour for a tier 8 medium. You can bounce a lot when you hold down off your turret. And overall, I actually really enjoy playing this tank because, like I say, you don't see tier 10s. And that is really refreshing when you're playing tier 8s. But that most of the time, you're going to be playing against your own tier. Like I say, at worst case, tier 9. So overall, I think for that factor, it makes the tank quite enjoyable to play. So here we are for the first replay on Dukla Pass, where there's no enemy artillery, and we are top tier in this game. And initially we pushed quite aggressively. Like I say, there's no artillery to shoot me in this position, so I only have to worry about what's in front of me. And I was trying to extend the vision for my friendly team. But the light tank is being a bit of a pest and not really getting shot at by my team. So I've decided I'm just going to go in, even if it means I eat a little bit of hit points in order to just take care of this light tank. I felt like he was never really getting shot at. So I just wanted to get rid of this tank because I was concerned if we started losing the other side. But I wanted to, I didn't want to avoid, losing out on the damage. So we managed to put this light tank on a one shot. We lose a little bit of hit points, but overall, pretty good. We've now forced that light tank off that position, and he ends up getting shut down by our friendly J Panther 2. We eat another one off of that enemy tank destroyer as we try and advance, and now we're going to try and use this ridge here to try and stay hold down at best we can. And try and get some shots of these tanks in front of us, as well as if you'd like to think if we keep those tanks detected, they should really get shot at by our camping tank destroyers behind us, and hopefully we can start to rack up a little bit of assistance on this side. So we poke the ridge just to try and spot and see if anything's there, see if we can get any assistance come in there. We have picked up a little bit of assistance at the start, but not a great deal. Looking to see if we can get any shots into this enemy tank destroyer here. We try and aim one through the cupola. We do pen that, and he is starting to get shot at by our friendly team. He's kind of in the open. You'd think he'd start to eat a bit, get a bit more of assistance here. We do shoot the Vigilante and actually track him in place, putting us onto about 1,200 damage. And sorry, not the Vigilante, sorry, the Vengeance, I should say. And now he's kind of pushed out of our gun line. So we're going to continue trying to keep this enemy tank destroyer in front of us detected and see if we can get any side shots here. We do finish off the Vengeance there, picking up our first kill of the game. And still the scoreboard is fairly even. That shot unfortunately derped. I mean, this gun, it does feel like some of the shots do derp a little bit. You may want to run stabs to try and get around that fact, but I prefer to run the the camo net myself because overall it's a little bit derpy, but it's not so bad that it's horrendous. And because you've got a fairly quick reload anyway, it's not the end of the world if you miss a shot. So we are still in a close game here. This AT7 really should start to get shot by my friendly team here, and that is exactly what's happening. And we are picking up the assistance for that, and picking up the rewards whilst just trying to go for his cupola. And you can see here we are bouncing quite a lot of shots off of our turret. You can do that in this tank. You can get away with bouncing a few shots, and I say it is really enjoyable just to know that you never, every time you play, you just never have to play tier 10, so you're never really going to be outclassed too much when you come across the enemy tanks. Should be able to finish off the enemy tank destroyer. Unfortunately, we either miss the cupola or don't hit it there. It's a 3-shot autoload of this tank destroyer, and I really don't want to get clipped out. I'm getting shot in the side by, I'm guessing, the enemy light tank, but the enemy tank destroyer in front of us gets shut down by our friendly challenger, which is nice. Puts us into a 9 versus 6, trying to lose our spot, and then I'm going to try and head over to where I think the rest of the damage will be, which is, you know, more likely on our sort of heavy flank, if you like. But as we cross, we do spot a full health tier 6 enemy heavy tank, and we're going to see if we can try and deal with that heavy tank now and get a few shots in. It'd be nice. And yeah, he's got about 1,000. Well, he's full health, so he's got about 1,000 hit points. And you know, we really try and boost our damage here, because there's still quite a you know, chunk of hit points left, well, available for us, and we still have about just over half of our hit points left as well. So we're going to move over and try and take care of this heavy tank. There is an enemy light tank. Got to be careful though, he doesn't put shots into us as we cross. He's looking to try and shoot us here, so I'm trying to take a safer path so the light tank can't shoot me, and it allows me to get in and fight the enemy heavy tank here, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. Like I say, he's a tier 6 and we're in a tier 8, so we should be able to make light work of this tank here. We do track him in place. We're going to go for the driver again, so we can keep it that way, or maybe pick up a bit of a track assistance. Still a close game. The enemy light tank is coming in for us now. We're going to focus out the enemy light tank, because it's a tank which is going to be the most, you know, the more nuisance to us. Yeah, it's going to get round us. And yeah, we want to try and take care of that while we can. Wasn't going to shoot the heavy tank there, but I just opted to shoot the light tank to put him onto a 1-shot. That's exactly what happens here. We should be able to get the kill. He has put a few shots into us, but you know, in the end of the day, we managed to take him out, and now we can focus on the enemy heavy tank again. So hopefully get a shot in here, but unfortunately, gets shut down by a friendly Roswell, so I miss out on the an extra shot of damage or an extra kill there. But we do pick up about, what, 3,500 damage of our own, 3 kills, 2,100 combined on assistance, with 2 tanks remaining, and I was hoping that they were going to be healthy. Unfortunately, that shot misses, and yeah, it's only 1 tank remaining, and he gets shut down as well. So that is the end of replay number 1, but we still got 2 more replays to come. So let's see how we finish that one off. We get 3 kills, 3,500 damage, 2,200 base XP, and just over 2,000 you know, base XP on that game. And yeah, we do get the ace tanker and the high caliber. So that's it for replay number 1, but let's move on to replay number 2. Okay, so here we are for replay number 2. This time there is 5 enemy light tanks and 1 enemy fun police, and we are quite heavily top tier on this replay, and we're on Safe Haven, which, to be honest, is not really a map I enjoy that much. I don't think it's a very good map at all. But you know, we should be able to get into a fight pretty early doors, and we're going to try, and when I like to play this map, if I'm not playing the other side in the hills, I like to try and take the left hand side of the map to avoid taking any early damage when you're getting into position, and then see if we can get any cross shots on, and you know, work our game out from there. So here we go. We're going to try and move on. See, you know, sometimes some tanks can test us on the other side. That hasn't really happened, so it's kind of allowed us to push a little bit further forward and see if we can get any shots in through this side sort of door of the warehouse. And there is about sort of 3 tanks which we could potentially shoot here, so we're looking to see what we can do, and if we, you know, where we can get the side shots in. I'm just going to be a little bit careful that I'm not going to get, you know, shot myself. But we have got opportunity to farm this light tank who's pushed into the middle, and really this light tank is in kind of a world of bother for us now. He's only a tier 6 light tank. We can kill him in about, you know, 3 or 4 shots. Should be able to finish him off now, and pick up the kill, and we do, picking up our first kill of the game and just shy of 800 damage. So a decent start to this game, and because no one's really contested us, we're going to keep pushing and then try and basically put ourselves in a position to shoot the tanks on the 7 line. So we're going to come around here where we can use these little containers as a bit of cover for us, so we can side scrape off of this, and just try and get, you know, nice shots into these tanks in that opposite warehouse. So we put a nice shot in there, and yeah, we've got 2 tanks available to us to be able to shoot at here. So unfortunately for me, the tank destroyer does move into cover, so we don't really have any more tanks, and we're going to try and close the distance on the enemy team now, because I think a lot of the enemy team actually might be in the hills on the opposite side, But in order for me to get there, I need to try and get rid of these tanks in front of us. So I thought this enemy medium tank was going to continue his advance, but he doesn't. He stops, and we do put a shot in, and thankfully avoid actually eating one in return, which is nice. And I'm just waiting to see if he pokes. If he does poke, we might be able to put a sneaky shot through his drive wheel. I can't really push in to kill him at the moment, just because that heavy tank is on my left. And I can't really push in to kill the heavy tank, because if I do, this medium is just going to shoot me in the side where he's got easy pens, as it does that. But thankfully for me, the heavy tank is pushing me, which makes my life a little bit easier. He does put a shot into me, but we put him onto a one shot now, and now I should be able to finish him off for our second kill of the game. And then we can turn our attention to that enemy medium tank. But now that medium tank hasn't got support from that enemy heavy tank, it's going to allow me to push in and close the distance. The enemy fun police was looking to shoot us. He is spotted, so we could try and get some shots in. But I've kind of opted, if you look at the scoreboard, we're 4 tanks behind now. And I need to help my team quickly, because we're starting to lose this game. And at the moment, I thought there was a heavy tank to my left, but it actually was a tank above me on a different level. I didn't quite spot that. But we do at least put this enemy tank destroyer onto a one shot. Hopefully we can finish him off through the lower plate here, and we do. Our shot goes true, and we pick up our third kill of the game, putting us onto 2,000 damage. We are still losing the game, but we brought it back to a lot closer of a score. Hopefully we can finish off this medium tank, but he actually gets shut down by our friendly Barras, so we don't need to. And now we're brought back to a 6 versus 7. So as you say, I think the enemy artillery, we know where that is, so we could go and kill the artillery. But I'm kind of thinking most of the damage might be in the hills, and I want to go over to help our team. Now there is one enemy light tank in our base, killing our friendly artillery. I'm not really going to be able to get back in time to save him, so we're just going to have to accept that. Unfortunately, he's going to get taken out. But we should maybe be able to get a shot at the enemy light tank there. We don't. He gets round and he avoids our shot. But hopefully we can finish off this one-shot T20. But no, again, he gets safe from us, and we're not able to do that. But now, all of a sudden, this game's gone for the worse. And I'm actually in a 3 versus 7. And this, the game is not looking as winnable, but it's still in a balance. I've still got most of my hit points, but we're up against it. So I'm thinking I don't want to be fighting the other tanks now while we're this low, when the enemy artillery can just focus us, because essentially he's not going to have lots of tanks to shoot at us, and I don't want to be fighting and being outnumbered and getting shot from the sky. So my plan was to go and try and kill the enemy artillery. I'm now in a 2 versus 5 here, but we do have shots available to us in this enemy tier 6 tank destroyer, who has just fired, and we put him onto a potential one shot to us, whilst we're now in a 1 versus 4 situation. But hopefully we can finish off this enemy tank destroyer. Unfortunately, he just gets into cover before we're able to there, which is not ideal. I was thinking the enemy team actually might start to cap out though. So I'm going to basically head back to the base so I can try and get the reset. So there is one tank in the cap circle at the moment. I'm guessing it's the enemy light tank. But then that light tank actually gets out of the cap circle, which is probably a good idea, because if you're sitting in the cap circle, I at least know where one of the enemy tanks are. Makes it easier for me to try and kill them. So he has got out of the base. And I'm kind of in this low ground, and the T20 crosses, and thankfully we get that shot in, which brings it to a much more manageable 1 versus 3, knowing that one of the tanks is the enemy tank destroyer, which I've put onto a one shot. So I've got the tier 6 one shot TD to contend with the enemy tier 6 artillery, and the other tank is just this enemy light tank, who is a 2 shot to us. So at this moment I was thinking, right, if I sit in here, if that tank destroyer comes in to try and kill us, we're going to finish him off, and then we can try and focus the light tank, because the light tank can't really, it's awkward for the light tank to fight in an engagement like this. Now that is the real threat, I think, to me at the moment, is really the light tank and the artillery. If I go outside, obviously the artillery can't physically shoot me here, but I do lose the spot off the light tank, and I'm thinking, right, I don't think he's going to come in for us. So I'm just going to see if we can get a shot into him and take him out. As I try and move around here, the light tanks actually come off of the high ground and you can see he's looking to shoot us through this tunnel. I'm going to see if I can get a shot in and put him onto a one shot, and thankfully my shot does connect. That puts him onto a one shot to me, which is really good, and we avoid taking any damage. Then the enemy tank destroyer crosses. I'm going to see if we can try and finish that tank destroyer off there, but I don't quite have the angle. And like I say, now both tanks, main tanks, the TD and the light tank, are a one shot to me. That is good. So I'm actually, although it's a 1 versus 3, to be honest, I'm feeling pretty confident about winning this at the moment. If I can kill the light tank, it's pretty much going to be a definite win, because the TD, like I say, is a one shot tier 6 tank destroyer. I do take him out, and that puts us into a 1 versus 2. And I just need to kill this light tank now. I don't think the artillery actually has shots at me here. He was hovering over us, but I don't think he can hit us. And I'm going to wait and see if this light tank makes a mistake and comes out in the open and gives me an opportunity to shoot him, which looks like it's going to happen, and I might have an opportunity to try and pick up the kill there. So he stops, he looks to try and shoot us, and thankfully that shot goes in, and we pick up the 6th kill of the game and 3,200 damage. Like I said, he was in a 1 versus 4, and it's just this enemy artillery to deal with. And the artillery was initially at the sort of in the base, basically. So we're going to head over that way to try and take care of the artillery now. And to be honest, I should win this now against the artillery, unless I get really unlucky and he pens me and sets me on fire. I should be pretty good to take care of this enemy artillery and pick up the Devastator's medal. And I'm just hoping the artillery is full health, so I can try and put myself closer to the 4,000 damage mark as well. So I'm heading over to the artillery now. I decided to go this way because I thought it was the way he wouldn't he wouldn't be expecting me to come from. And plus, when I came on the roof, I thought, well, maybe I'll spot him if he's trying to cross in the open or go up to the dunes. So I thought he could try and rotate, but he hasn't. He stayed in that location. We know exactly where he is. Obviously, he will be aware that I've spotted him now, but I'm going to try and make my advance. He's full health, which is nice. I've got quite a lot of hit points available to me. I think if I kill this tank, then it's going to put me over 4,000 damage with the Devastator medal as well. It was a shame it wasn't a 1 versus 5. We would have picked up the Kolobamovs, but we still managed to. Yeah, well, assuming the artillery doesn't one-shot us here, he may get one opportunity to shoot us as we make our advance. He's actually out-lighting us, which is surprising. But we found him here. We actually gave him a little opportunity to shoot us there. We probably didn't need to. But now he's fired. We know he can get at least probably 2 shots off before he reloads again, I think. And then they'll be able to shoot us. It does reload very quickly because it's a tier 6 artillery. So he actually does fire again. And yeah, we've definitely got the kill here. So yeah, this game is all but over. And that will put us on to 4,000 damage, or just shy of 4,000 damage, and 7 kills. And we don't actually manage to pick up the ace tanker there, mainly because well, we were quite heavily top tier, wasn't we? So, but we do still have a good game, and we got one more final replay to come. So I'll see you over there in a little bit. Okay, so here we are for the final replay then. This time we are on Airfield. It is tier 8 matchmaking. There's 2 enemy light tanks and 2 enemy artillery, 2 enemy fun police in the game. And it's the encounter battle as well. So initially we're going to try and push to the sort of like E5 sort of position I quite like to take on the ridge, where we can try and get shots at anything that goes to the middle ground on the ridge, or sometimes you get some early light tanks to sort of just full send across the cap circle, so maybe we can get some shots in there as well. But that's going to be our initial position, and then we'll kind of work out what we're going to do from there. But this is going to be my starting position. So as we move up, we actually spot an enemy huntsman, and unfortunately that shot doesn't go true, so we're not able to pick up a shot of damage, and he then gets away from us, so we're not able to get any shots into him. But right on cue, an enemy light tank has sort of gone round the cap circle, and this has allowed opportunities for us to get shots in. So we should be able to pick up a second shot here, which we do. He does snap a shot into us on the move, but I can't really see how this enemy light tank is going to get away from this situation, if I'm honest. We put him onto a 2-shot to us, looking to try and squeeze in a final shell before he gets into cover. I can't do that, but he's left on a slivering of health now, and he should get finished off by our friendly teammates, and in fact he does. giving us the early bit of damage, which is always really nice, and taking care of one of the enemy light tanks again, which is good. So we're just poking here to see if we can spot any tanks. You've got to be careful, because if I get spotted here, I could potentially get shot at from the artillery or any tank destroyers which may or may not be unlit there at the back. So I feel like that position, I'm going to try and advance, because I don't think much has actually come this way, and I'm going to try and extend my view range on the enemy tanks where that huntsman was last spotted. So we do in fact spot the tank, and we pick up a bit of assistance there, as well as spotting a Scorpion G, I believe. Looking to see if we can squeeze any shots in. Don't quite have the shots, but we do squeeze in a cheeky little shot at the other enemy light tank, which is good, putting us on just shy of 1,000 damage now and a little bit of assistance. So we are in a good position here at the moment, just to try and get as much vision for our team as well. We're going to try and get a shot into this enemy heavy tank, which we've just spotted. Should be able to go actually through his turret face there, which we do, putting us on to 1,200 damage now. And now we're going to try and, I want to keep that sort of Scorpion G detected, and that huntsman which was on that ridge, just so we can try and pick up maybe a bit of assistance from our friendly artillery and just try and take care of them. But an enemy Dragon has decided to come round us. Thankfully we was paying attention, so I was able to sort of face him and get a shot into him. And we're going to look to try and squeeze in another here. So we just managed to make the 7 degrees of gun depression work. We put in a second shot to him as he's sort of full sending to try and take out our friendly tank, and he does kill our friendly tank. Unfortunately now the problem we have is the enemy artillery. The enemy fun police is looking to ruin our day, and he started focusing on us. We can't really move until we've killed this Dragon though, so I'm hoping the enemy artillery is not going to land the big one. The Dragon does get taken out, and now I'm going to go, because I don't want to risk that artillery shooting me, because it is a very, very close game with 11 versus 12. We've managed to avoid the enemy artillery shots though, and we are safe for now. But yeah, it makes us awkward. We can't really use that position we was in. Now the artillery is focusing us there. We do squeeze a shot into that enemy huntsman. Again, like I say, it's a very, very close game at the moment, but we have a decent start to it. We've got 2,200 damage, 700 assistance, and again, still pretty much got all of our hit points, minus the one bit of damage enemy light tank put us into us at the start. But the enemy team have, again, it's very close. We are losing technically. We're 2 tanks down, but yeah, the game is very close. The enemy team have pushed up into the middle more, and I kind of want to try and get out of this position now, if I'm honest, because it's not really working for us. But yeah, I'm thinking I want to try and get back to where I was, but I don't want to cross in front of all those tanks and lose all my hit points. So I've decided to try and go a different route round to try and get back to where I was initially. So we've gone this way because I felt like it was safer, because I thought I was going to eat damage if I crossed where I just did. And we can go up this little ridge here basically to get back to where he was, and then we can try and get shots into these things like this tank destroyer, which has moved up, you can see there, and enemy Tiger I believe moved up. We've got better shots from that side of the ridge at them, and I need to try and get my gun in the game, because we're starting to lose tanks. It's 8 versus 10 at the moment, and I feel like the enemy team are starting to take a little bit of ground on us here. So I'm going to see if we can try and squeeze any shots into anything in the mid ridges at the moment, and maybe on this enemy heavy tank in the side. But again, I've got to be careful when I poke here, because I probably will get spotted, and again the enemy artillery can shoot us as well. So we're going to see if we can squeeze in a shot into enemy heavy tank, but I have to overextend too much to get a shot into him, and enemy artillery right on cue was looking to shoot us there. So I'm thinking I'm kind of getting a little bit pincered by the tanks in front of the cap circle, and these tanks which are moving onto us. We do put that enemy tank destroyer onto a one shot, which is good, putting us just shy of 3,000 damage now. And I'm trying to work out what's best here to do, because I'm getting pushed by the enemy tank destroyer as well as a full health enemy KV on the low ground. But this enemy light tank comes around. Unfortunately, we fluff our shot, which is annoying because it kind of cost our Panther 88 probably one shot of damage there, but he does take him out anyway, so it's not the end of the world. We haven't actually got a kill yet, and again I think we're a couple of tanks down still, but these tanks in front of us are actually low hit points. You can see The Scorpion is pretty low here, so I'm thinking let's just push and see if I can kill these tanks in front of us, which will give us a little bit more freedom. It may even give us an opportunity to go and kill the artillery, because I'm not worried in the slightest about being capped out. It's an easy kind of base to defend, to be honest with you. So I'm not in much danger of us getting capped out. Scorpion G did miss, so I was able to finish him off, and now we can eat a shot in order to kill this enemy medium tank here. Hopefully pick up our second kill of the game, which we do. Putting us on to 2 kills, 3,000 damage, 800 assistance, and we are in a 4 versus 4. But one of the enemy tanks remaining is that tank destroyer, which we put on a one shot, which we that T28 proc. So that's kind of useful information. And then there's of course 2 enemy artilleries and the enemy KV as well, which when I last saw the KV, he was I think pretty much full health, but both the KV and the proc are very slow, and we decided that let's just go and kill the artillery now. Panther 88 is coming with us as well. He's obviously on the same page there. We killed the enemy artillery. The last 2 tanks remaining then will be pretty easy well, a lot easier to take care of when we don't have to worry about getting shot from the sky. So we actually put a shot into that enemy artillery, and then he also gets shot by a Panther 88, and he gets shut down pretty quickly there, and we pick up a bit more assistance for it as well. It's the enemy GW Tiger, I believe, left. He's not facing us, so we're going to go through the track wheel there. Might get a bit more track assistance. In fact, we do, and he gets shut down by a Panther 88. Now we're in a 4 versus 2. One of the tanks is the one shot, obviously, and the other tank has got most of the hit points. So we're going to head back to try and take care of them tanks and see if we can pick up a little bit more damage at the end of this game, and maybe another kill as well, which would be good. So heading that way, see if we can spot them, see if we can spot this enemy proto here. I'm guessing they will probably head in towards the cap circle, but as it turns out they're not actually. The enemy KV has been chasing us down, so we're going to head that and see if we can get any damage in them. But I just was turning there because the proc got spotted. I thought maybe I could kill the proc, but he gets shut down by our Panther 88. So we're going to move in and just take care of this heavy tank. We're basically full health here, so yeah, we should be able to take care of this tank, especially when we've got help of our friendly medium coming with us. So we get round the side of him, and yeah, it's just about farming the damage here. One of the things you can do in this sort of tank is try and face hug like that, because you've got that sort of decent turret armour and you're quite low profile. So that is the end of the replay, and we finished that one off with 4,200 damage, getting a 3 kills, 1,944 base XP with 1,500 assistance and the ace tanker. So thanks for your support, and as always, happy tanking.
Enemy in sight! Hadouken!